Ever wondered what someone's childhood is like? Well, there's many ways you could think about how one's childhood goes like. There could be nicknames or stories that can define their childhood or how they were as a child. For example, as I was growing up, even before I was born, my father gave me the nickname Pamphilo. Many people wondered what the nickname meant or why he had chose that nickname for me if I wasn't even born yet. He made many people think that he had given me the nickname because when I was born, I was a troublemaker even throughout my whole childhood. It was pretty fun for some family members, but some families would get irritated of how much trouble I would cause and everything I would do. But not as much as my family in Mexico, which we traveled to twice a year, me and my family. There was one instance in when we traveled to Mexico when I was about 8 years old to to visit my father's family. We go to his birthplace of Tirindara, Michoacan in Mexico. We go twice a year, but this particular time we went, it was for a cousin's wedding, and we had been invited. So we arrived a week prior to the wedding in order to visit family and get to know everyone else that was going to be in the wedding. When it came time for the wedding or the wedding day, we got dressed and got ready for the wedding and headed over to the place where the weddings are, which is named El Corral in my father's hometown of Mexico. We made it, and as I was greeting everyone, they would say, "Hi, Pamphilo," or "How are you doing, Pamphilo?" Because they didn't know my real name was Luis. Instead, they would just call me Pamphilo because that was my nickname and how much trouble I would make. As I got situated throughout the whole wedding, I was able to get to have some fun with my family and dance and get to dance with the groom and bride, who I later found out the groom was my cousin or my uncle in some way from my dad's side. So as we were enjoying the party and everything, the lights suddenly went out and everybody just they got scared for a bit. And the lights were off for about 5 to 10 minutes, and everybody was just trying to turn on and back on the lights and keep the party going. And me being the troublemaker I was as a child, I didn't know what was going on, so I frantically just went to go look for my parents, which I didn't end up finding until after the lights came back on. And as I made my way looking for my parents, I noticed the wedding cake and nobody was near it. So as I went near the wedding cake, and without even knowing or thinking, I took a bite of the cake and was smearing it all over my face and just eating it as much as I wanted. And as the lights came back on, I made my way away and I left the cake as fast as I could. And then later on, I was when I found my family and my parents and everything was okay. And right as I get to my parents and want to give them a hug, they turned on the microphone and the sound system. And when I hug my parents, they say in the intercom, "¿Quién mordió el pastel?" As in who bit the cake in Spanish. And everybody just starts looking around and starts saying like, "Who bit the cake? Who bit the cake?" And everyone starts to look at me, and all I can say is, "It wasn't me. I didn't bite the cake," with all the cake smeared all over my face.